On today's episode, this is the Halloween Spooktacular. My name's Mason,
And I'm Sam.
and we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about today. And guess what? We're filming this on Halloween, which is pretty crazy.
Heck yeah.
So, Sam, how you doing today?
I'm all right.
I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear
Yeah, long day, but enjoying the spooky season.
that. Fantastic.
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. How about you?
I'm great. Yeah. It's awesome. I'm surprised. Normally, like in northwestern Pennsylvania, I feel like it's either going to snow on Halloween or it's not. But it's pretty good weather today. So I'm very happy for that.
Today certainly was like probably the best
Yeah.
weather on Halloween that I've seen in a long time. Like
For
usually
sure.
it's been raining
Yeah.
for the past couple of years. So, yeah. No, I think probably the best weather I've seen in
No, I'm
quite
down for this.
a while.
Did you want to get into the film news, Sam?
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
move on to that.
The one thing I had to talk about, and I was actually quite shocked about this, and we talked about this before the podcast, is that James Gunn is becoming the co-chair and the co-CEO of DC Studios, and I thought that was pretty fascinating. What's your thought on that, Sam?
You know, I had seen that. I had seen that a couple weeks, or not a couple weeks ago, but a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty big news because I knew for quite a while, since a lot of like the Snyder Cut stuff.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of like the Ezra Miller controversies and things like that. That DC's been going through some big changes.
Yeah, for sure.
Not only in the direction of what they want to produce, but also just in numbers, because I guess they got purchased. Now they're owned by Warner Brothers Discovery now and stuff like that. So, but you know, I think DC, especially now, has had a lot of opportunities to see that like director-led movies have generally been well received.
Yeah.
Because we have things like James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which he directed and was successful.
Exactly.
And there's stuff like the Batman and the Joker solo film, and the fans rallying behind the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
You know,
it seems like less studio controlled films seem to do better, and also there's a better reception to those ones, especially like the Joker. That movie blew up.
Oh yeah.
And I remember going to see that film, and I'm like, oh, it's just gonna be another superhero movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is quite different.
It was wholly original. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, even without the Joker title slapped on, and random stuff inclusions of Thomas Wayne and stuff like that, that it barely was even a DC film.
Yeah.
You know,
just a good movie.
Yeah.
Overall. Yeah. Do you have any other news you wanted to talk about, Sam?
I do think, I guess maybe to build off of our discussion more with DC. So I know we talked about Black Adam last week, and talking about superhero fatigue. So I actually had went and seen Black Adam the day after we recorded, and you know, I actually ended up enjoying it.
Did?
Yeah. I went in. I was thinking it was. I had visions of it being DC's Morbius.
Oh yeah. You're worried for that.
Yeah, but honestly, it was original. Well, and I'm gonna say original loosely. They had done some things that I had not seen before, at least with the plot.
Okay.
So I'm not saying it was Black Adam was wholly original.
No way.
Because there was a lot of it was still a pretty generic superhero
it's
film.
a superhero film.
You know, but I think it did what it did well, and you could tell that the people behind it, especially Dwayne Johnson, who was really adamant about advertising it, you could tell the people that made it wanted the movie to be good, despite a lot of its. It still had some issues, but I found myself really enjoying it because, it was director driven, it was creatively driven, and you could tell that at least the people who made it liked Black Adam and knew Black Adam. Yeah. You know, as a character.
Good.
So, and so I guess with that news about DC,
do you think you'd recommend Black Adam?
I would. I think if you're looking for just a pretty good superhero movie, one that you it's not really profound necessarily, but just it's pretty good. You'll enjoy yourself. I do think Black Adam is very good.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check it out. I was kind of waiting for your review and recommendation because I'd heard mixed things. That wasn't quite sure.
Well, and I mean the reviews, the Rotten Tomato reviews are really stark.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's 39% critical score. Yeah. But a 90% audience score.
Holy cow! Yeah. Wow, that's black and white right there.
Yeah. So it's. I think. I mean, I personally enjoyed it. It wasn't. Cool. I mean, it wasn't a profound, great film. You know, but it was good. I thought it did what it did well.
Sure.
So,
Cool.
But I think I guess with the movement towards DC, I hope that this is, I guess what they need to make better movies overall.
Yeah, I think they kind of need a push, and maybe this is them like saving face, quote unquote, because I think there's a lot of James Gunn fans. I'm a pretty big fan of James Gunn, especially like the new Suicide Squad movie. And have you seen the Peacemaker series?
Yeah.
I like both of those. Very different tone than a lot of superhero stuff. It's a little darker, comedic at the same time.
Yeah.
But I always found the stuff that he was producing was kind of more original than what's currently being made.
I'd agree.
So I'd like to see. I like that direction which they're heading into.
And I think I'll just mention I believe. Oh man, his name escapes me. It's not. He's co-directing with another guy.
Peter Safran.
Saffron. Yeah,
Peter Safran. Yeah, I read that.
Because I was thinking about David Zaslav, but he's the head of Warner Brothers Discovery, or the CEO.
I gotcha.
But yeah, so they're co-directing, but hopefully that should lead to good things.
Hopefully, yeah.
You know, and I hope Black Adam is a sign of, and you know, I think, and this will be the last thing I'll talk about with DC because I could go on for days.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I think DC has a unique opportunity right now to produce, even if it's not like incredible, original content. Yeah. Because I think right now people are feeling Marvel fatigue.
Oh, absolutely.
And because like with stuff like Thor Ragnarok, and I think like She-Hulk show, they've just not really been incredibly well received.
The reception has been very great.
Yeah. Because a lot of it's like samey, and I think that complaint's been going on ever since like Eternals, I think, came out. So I think DC has a unique opportunity to really explore what the fans want.
Yeah.
They've had a track record of director-led films where the studio didn't interfere as much as they normally do, and they've been successful. So I think this could hopefully maybe booster DC's public perception as a newer pop culture giant.
Well, a lot of their animated films are great. And I guess I'd love to see that with their live action films as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you want to get into like our Halloween discussion, or do you have anything else news related you want to talk about?
I guess there actually is one more piece of news, and this goes into some Black Adam spoiler territory. Well,
if you want to spoiler,
plug your ears for like 45. Give it like a minute and a half.
1 minute. Okay.
So, all right, I'm going to spoiler. I'll reveal a spoiler in 3, 2, 1. So basically, Superman. You don't care if I spoil it?
You can go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So there's a post-credit scene, and Superman returns, and it's played by Henry Cavill.
Okay.
So Henry Cavill is back as Superman, which I'm very stoked about. But this has led to him quitting The Witcher.
That's tough. That's real tough.
The Netflix series, and I was somebody that really enjoyed The Witcher.
Oh yeah. Same here.
So it's like I'm glad we're getting Superman back, but I'm also really sad that The Witcher is not. Or that he'll be out of it, I think, after season 3.
Are they gonna wrap it up, or that's hard to say.
No, I think he originally signed a 7-season contract. What I had heard.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you break?
I don't know. That's crazy. So I think he's gonna. I think they've filmed season 3. They'll release it at some point. But I think after season 3, he's done.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's being replaced, I guess, by what's his name? Liam Hemsworth.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm not crazy about.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate to see him go.
Yeah.
Personally, I think if I had a choice,
if would you rather have The Witcher or him playing Superman again?
Yeah. I would honestly choose The Witcher. Like as much as I wanted Superman back, I think I would have preferred The Witcher.
I think I'd do the same. Yeah. I just noticed that the lights got brighter.
Yeah.
So I hopefully the lighting is okay. That's all right. Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, Sam, do you have any favorite like Halloween films because of this special occasion?
Or
spooky movies.
I actually don't watch many spooky movies.
That's okay.
Or I just haven't watched many. I planned on watching some. I guess if like some scary movies. You know what? I think I do have some recommendations. One of them is escaping me. there's a really good like when you had spoken about DC animated films.
Oh yeah.
The one they released pretty recently it was Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 and 2.
Okay. Yeah.
It's got Jensen Ackles as Batman, and it's got I forget who plays Commissioner Gordon, but there's also I think it's Josh Duhamel as Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Really good story. I thought a really good adaptation of the original graphic novel of The Long Halloween.
That's cool.
And I think the ending's a little bit changed. Personally, I actually like the ending of The Long Halloween, but it was a two-parter.
Okay.
One's PG-13. The first part's PG-13. Mm-hmm. The second part's actually rated R.
Oh wow! Holy cow!
Yeah, it's just for some blood and some like less kid-appropriate content. Not that the first one. I feel like they're both kind of tonally the same.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's about a serial killer, you know. So I mean, yeah.
That might be something I'll have to check out. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a good one, and it's called The Long Halloween because it starts on Halloween, and so then it goes throughout the whole year. So it's not necessarily like a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
But I think it's like
a dark
it's Halloween
tone.
enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of scary.
I had another recommendation as part of this.
Okay.
Well, I guess I forget what it was, but there's a spooky movie that I do enjoy. It's a little controversial.
That's okay.
But I think there's a movie called The Village.
Village.
By M. Night.
M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen this, but whenever I hear M. Night Shyamalan, he has always these like ridiculous twists in all of his films. That's kind of like his stick. So what do you like about The Village without spoiling it?
I watched it as a kid. I think I was too young to watch it. So I was scared of it for years.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know. I watched it again as an adult, and I had heard that it had mixed reviews. Not many people liked this one. But personally, I think it was very well written and very good. I think it's probably one of his stronger films. I understand like some of the criticisms towards the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
But personally, I think the story was really neat, really tied well. So I think The Village is good, and then I guess I'll put in The Sixth Sense as well.
Yeah.
And that one is obviously like
that's a classic.
One of his better ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a good movie too.
Yeah, I think The Sixth Sense is great. When I talk about M. Night Shyamalan, I always think of Signs. You ever seen Signs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
It's not too bad. I think though I don't like the twist that much. That like water kills it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for spoiling the movie right now. Okay, I'm gonna spoil the ending of Signs real quick.
Yeah.
Water kills the aliens. To me, that's just like, why would you go to a planet that is like 70% water?
Right. Well, and why would you go to a farm that's probably a little humid?
Right.
You know, so like it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But I think actually directed as a movie,
sure.
There were some pretty good scares in that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think like when I think of when he hears his daughter, where Mel Gibson's character hears his daughter, and he looks out in the window or something because I guess she's sick or she wakes up.
Yeah.
And he looks out the window and right on the roof is like this figure standing right in the dark.
Yeah.
That stood out to me so much as a kid.
Sure.
But I think it's still a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
As for like some of my favorite, I wrote a whole list. I'm just gonna name all of them real quick.
Sure.
Then maybe just talk a few of them. First one I wrote, Nightmare Before Christmas. Love that. I was watching it yesterday actually.
Mm-hmm.
You could put any George Romero zombie movie. Have you seen any of the George Romero zombie? Like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. That's
I've
okay.
Never seen anything? Yeah.
They're like classics. A little dated, but they have a charm to them. I feel like.
Yeah.
Coraline.
I have seen that
classic stop motion film. One of my favorites.
Oh, by the way, speaking of which, I had found on YouTube the studios that had made Coraline.
Oh yeah.
They have a YouTube channel. I didn't know that, and they go through.
They produce stuff.
Yeah, they go like in depth with behind the scenes stuff for their movies, and I had been watching a lot of like special effects with Coraline. Yeah. They were talking about like facial rigs for their characters that they 3D print for like Kubo and the Two Strings.
I like that one a lot too. That's a good film.
And what was the other one? I haven't seen their most. It's one of the more recent ones. It's about like it's like a missing link or something. I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
Like he's like an ape sort of dude. I don't know. Or like I don't know. Not
I
sure.
haven't seen that one. That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, check out their channel. I mean, really,
Yeah.
really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Leica Studios. Laika.
Oh, Leica Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
But yeah, check out that channel if you're at all interested in that. Because it's just a wealth of just what they do and like how to do it. And stop motion is something I really like. So yeah, check out that channel. Yeah.
But speaking about stop motion, that's like kind of what partially got me into filmmaking. Like when I was a kid, I used to always make like stop motion, like Lego films and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we had talked about that before.
From time to time. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I wish I would still do that. So stop motion, it's got a warm place in my heart.
Yeah, for sure.
Other Halloween films I put on my list. This one isn't really a Halloween film. It's just like spooky.
Yeah.
Not even really. It's Ghostbusters. It's not even like scary. It's just like a comedy.
You know, but that's still a good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's a good like
I think
kid friendly-ish. Yeah.
Kid friendly-ish. Yeah. Big fan of Ghostbusters. What else did I put? Beetlejuice. You ever seen Beetlejuice?
Never.
That's
Not seen
okay.
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
That's okay. It's very Halloween-y. It's not Halloween, but like that whole like.
It's got that spooky-ish
spooky.
vibe.
Yeah, it's spooky.
What-
It's funny too.
Is it a Tim Burton movie?
I
Or
think
is it
so.
not?
Yeah, I think it's Tim Burton.
It seems Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct us if we're wrong. I think it's Tim Burton. Yeah.
But it certainly has that style, and I think
It does.
he definitely has. He channels a lot of like spooky energy
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last one I wrote, this is a more modern film. I wrote Get Out by Jordan
Get
Peele.
Out. Yeah.
To me, that was like a more like, it's not real. I don't know. I wouldn't really call it fantasy,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's a little bit more realistic than some of the other ones I listed. It's like, oh, this could almost arguably happen.
Yeah.
It's scary. That's why I put Get Out. And I also wanted something more modern on the list. I'm a big Jordan Peele fan. I haven't watched his new film, Nope, yet. But
Yeah.
it's something I'll eventually get to.
Unfortunately, I've been meaning to see some of his movies.
Yeah.
I guess so far he's done Get Out, Us,
Yeah.
and Nope.
Have you seen any of those?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
That's okay.
No. But they've all really caught my eye.
Oh,
I know
for
it
sure,
as films
yeah.
like they seemed really good. So I'll definitely have to check them out at some
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
I recommend the first two because I've only seen those two. Get
Yeah.
Out is probably his best film in my opinion.
Okay.
But I prefer Us just because Us is like really different.
Yeah. No, the trailers for that just was so like
It's a really different film.
the whole main cast with like a lot of the like creepy doppelgangers.
Yes.
Just the
Yes.
perfect amount of unsettling.
It's
just
very
yeah.
unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some good recommendations.
Great, yeah.
I think yeah.
Real quick, you've seen Nightmare Before Christmas, right? You haven't seen that.
Actually, no.
Sam.
I've not.
My man, I'm not judging
Yeah.
you. That's okay. That's all right.
Mm.
I was just gonna ask, like, there's like a big debate. Like, is it more of like a Christmas film or like a Halloween film? And if anyone's watching at home, let us know. I argue it's more of a Halloween film, even though it like the setting is Christmas,
Yeah.
but all the characters are like Halloween, and it's like, what if Christmas was Halloween? So that's why I consider it a Halloween film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're both.
I feel like it
You
could
watch it.
probably be both.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a Halloween and a Christmas movie.
It definitely is. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like which one is it more of? I always find that interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there any more topics you were thinking of discussing?
I'm not sure. Check
For
the time.
today.
Check the time.
So I didn't start a timer, but I did
Oh,
make
that's
note
okay.
of the time.
Yeah.
So I think we started around 7:08.
Yeah.
It's 7:21
Okay.
as of right now.
Yeah. Did you have any like off like film news and everything? Did you have any
Sure.
like Halloween traditions that you've celebrated in your own family?
Generally, I think, besides like trick or treating,
Yeah.
and like a lot of the traditional stuff,
Mm-hmm.
what I like to do and what I've tried to do is I try to invite friends over,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Or we'll have like a little party, like a very low key, but we just have a lot of candy. We go.
Oh yeah.
When I was younger, I would just go trick or treating.
For sure.
But yeah, I think just having like a little like community party
That's fun.
to come in and hang out and stuff like
just
that
hang out with
on the
your
holiday.
friends. I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever like any like classic Halloween costumes that you remember that you dressed up as?
Oh man, I remember in second grade, I dressed up as Indiana Jones.
Oh,
and I thought it was the
okay.
coolest costume
Yeah.
ever.
Do you have a whip and everything?
I didn't have a whip because
Okay.
I feel like they probably would have confiscated that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just because they didn't want me
No.
like hitting kids with it or something. But I mean, I had the hat, I had the
Classic.
like
Classic.
the coat and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I felt so cool.
I dressed up as Indiana Jones one year. It was probably
Mhm.
like, I don't remember, maybe 5th or 4th grade or something. And
Yeah.
I didn't have like an actual whip, but I had like, I don't know, it was like a fabric whip.
Yeah.
And I thought I was cool. She like whipped it and it made like the Indiana Jones like dun 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 dun.
Oh,
dun,
really?
dun.
Really?
Yeah, I thought I was so cool.
That's cool.
Sure.
I guess the only other costume I've really worn again this year, I actually didn't know what to be. It was like Friday night,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, Halloween's this weekend,
Oh no.
and I was like, okay, all the plans. I wanted to be Ferris Bueller,
Classic.
but then I was like, I was gonna order the coat on Amazon, and then on Friday
Mhm.
night, I was like, it's not gonna get here by Halloween.
No.
So I pulled out my old Shazam costume, from a couple years ago. So
Nice.
I was Shazam again.
That's
at the same
funny.
time,
yeah. I don't know if anyone can tell. I'm currently dressed up as Marty McFly. I don't know how the lighting portrays that correctly. I'm a big Back to the Future fan.
Good.
So,
Great
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Great movies. I'm currently dressed up as myself.
No way.
I put a lot of time and effort into this costume, so yeah.
Nice.
No, of course that's a joke.
Mhm.
But yeah. Enjoying the spooky season.
Cool.
Sure.
Cool. I was unless we didn't have anything else to talk about, I was thinking maybe like we could go over like future plans we had for the podcast, maybe, or like
That's fine.
Yeah. I was thinking, oh, real quick, right before we get to this.
Sure.
I was talking to my roommate and his girlfriend. So my roommate Wyatt, I mentioned him last episode, and his girlfriend Ryan. She was upset that Wyatt got mentioned on the podcast and that she
Really?
didn't. Yeah, just to shout you out, Ryan. She watches all the episodes. We watched Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed the other night ago.
Okay.
Have you seen
Yeah.
those like
Yeah,
live
yeah,
action
yeah.
Scooby-Doo movies?
Mhm.
Yeah, we were watching that together. I guess that's kind of Halloween-y.
That is good. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know that's a good recommendation. I like the first one that came out.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily the second one.
Mhm.
Is it Monsters Unleashed the first one?
Monsters
they go to the
Unleashed
island?
is the second one.
Okay.
The first one's I think that the first one's better. I would
Yeah,
argue.
yeah.
I just have nostalgia for the second one, and rewatching it, it's like really weird.
Mhm.
Like really weird.
Sure, yeah. But those are great movies. Yeah, that's another recommendation.
Yeah.
But what else were you gonna say?
Sure,
about-
yeah. I guess like we were talking a little bit beforehand, like what are like our future expectations of the podcast,
Mhm.
and we can discuss this right now. Like, were you thinking, or I was thinking, almost like for like our recommended podcast, we'd maybe do that like every interval of time, so not every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of like give like the viewers like a time to like more time to watch films because everyone's busy. Everyone's got lives going on.
Right.
you
Yeah,
know?
and I think for us as well, like it's definitely getting to the more hectic time of the semester.
Sure.
Where there's a lot of assignments and a lot of like
Mhm.
finals week will come up. That's a ways away, but
Yeah.
it's coming up.
Mhm.
So I think maybe making like a film recommendation like at least once a month.
Yeah.
I think will be good.
And then just like we could do like shorter podcast,
Yeah.
however so often, just about like whatever we want to talk about, either film news or maybe a favorite movie.
Mm-hmm. Or just like big discussion
Oh, yeah.
topics. Yeah.
Mhm.
Depending on what happens. So as always, we'll keep you posted.
Sure.
We'll. I know I'm trying out the Spotify feature. I guess through the website we're using that uploads to Spotify and the other platforms, there was a way I could add like a question at the end of the podcast that would say like, what film do you want us to talk about next? I'm not sure. I haven't gotten a chance to like actually look at how that would work.
Oh, it's dark again.
But yep. There it is. But yeah, I don't know how that feature will work, but we'll try to. If any of our fans have recommendations for stuff to watch, we'll definitely try and be receptive of that. And watch what we can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what are some other? Do you have any other ideas or any things you want to talk about? Just for like future ideas for the podcast.
Yeah, I think like one idea would be like almost like talking about like hidden gems. So like
Okay.
we like find a movie where like maybe not a lot of people have seen it, and then we like either talk about it or recommend it, or maybe even like. I think watching some foreign films might be fun. I'm not sure how many foreign films you watch.
I watch them from time to time, but
it's not like I watch a bunch either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also really interested in like independent cinematography. There's a lot of like YouTube channels which make movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's stuff I'm interested in because like I make films and short films and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And just because I'm thinking of it, I guess it was sort of an indie film. I watched it on HBO Max, but it is kind of spooky. I had watched a couple weeks ago the film We're All Going to the World's Fair. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No, I haven't heard about that. It's like a carnival spooky thing.
It's without spoiling too much, it's about a girl who gets involved in an internet challenge known as the World's Fair Challenge. And the whole movie, it's basically like you just watch her like recording herself the whole time.
Oh, so like
and so it's kind of like a
cam type of.
It's more like webcam. Like it's always like a still camera. Like she's just set up a webcam somewhere. It was kind of spooky. It wasn't as scary as I thought, but it's kind of like a psychological.
That kind of reminds me of like
thrillerish. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like the Paranormal Activity films, like.
Yes, but certainly not as but certainly not as scary.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, but I think if you want something that makes you think about stuff a lot, I think it was pretty good, and I think that was a more scarier side movie that I had watched recently. Cool. So I can recommend that one too.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I think moving to indie films. I know a friend of mine asked me earlier today. She's like, "Are you always going to talk about films that you like?"
Yeah. Oh, fair.
You know, she was like, "Can we talk about films that are bad?" You know,
yeah, films we dislike.
So I feel like we could also have we could have an episode about films we just don't like.
Yeah.
You know,
would it only be like, here's all the things we hate, or are we gonna like try to like find like maybe here was a few good things?
We could do that. Yeah, even
play
if
devil's advocate, you know. What I mean?
Even if it's like we look up a list of commercial flops or stuff like that, and we could be like, you know what, I've seen this one, it's okay.
Yeah.
Or like, okay, it's not as bad, or it's like, yeah, this is horrible. This is
terrible. Don't avoid it. Yeah.
Or maybe movies that are so bad it's good, like The Room.
Oh,
have you heard of that?
Oh yeah,
Tommy Wiseau. Yeah.
We'll probably have to do an episode on that. That's a classic.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's we certainly won't always talk about movies that we absolutely love. You know, so because I think bad movies need as much attention sometimes, at least for comedy's sake.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think. One more spooky recommendation.
One more spooky.
Yeah. I've just thought of it. There's a Netflix series that I'd seen. Now they're like an hour long every episode, so it's not a movie.
Is this what I'm thinking?
It might be.
Midnight Mass? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've watched the first episode.
I hadn't finished it. I know how it ends, unfortunately, because I had seen a YouTube clip randomly years ago, and then I watched it with my brother, and then I hit episode 4 and was like, wait a minute, I know how this ends. So that was a little disappointing.
That's sad.
Because I was like, no, I wish I had just forgot that I had seen it. But probably one of the most unsettling things I've seen. Really well written character development, and at the end of every episode, like the plot, like the rug just gets torn out from under you every single episode. Like the last 15 minutes of every one, and you're always like by the end of it like. It's so mind bending what happens.
I watched the first episode and I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I've been busy, so I haven't been able to finish it. And it's funny. My roommates were watching it like
the show
before I was filming this, and I was watching, but I was trying not to pay too much attention because they were on like one of the later episodes. I'm like, this looks really interesting. So I try not to because I don't want to spoil it for myself either.
Yeah. No, I think, I was really blown away by that one. So that one's definitely recommended. I will admit, if you're religious, there are some things that happen in that. Yeah. They're a little sacrilegious. So if you don't, if you would be offended by that, I just figured fair warning.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it's not like horribly offensive, but I could see why more religious of our viewers, if they had seen it, would be like, oh, like what am I watching?
Well,
so so it does get a little dark in that in that reign. So fair warning there. But I still think it was incredibly written.
Okay.
Very, very well written. Yeah.
I'll have to finish it. Cool. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss, or?
I think I've checked all the boxes for me.
Cool.
Is there anything else you wanted to?
I think that's all I got for now. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know if you can see this, the Real Radar Halloween special. Hopefully the light picks that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful Halloween, whether you're going trick-or-treating or staying inside. And maybe just tonight, if you have time, just curl up, watch a movie.
Yeah.
Get cozy.
Maybe watch one of the movies we talked about. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. So we hope you have a good night and have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Okay. See ya.